Hello, hello. I'm going live in my group Intuitive Angel Messages through Facebook. And I want to talk about a topic that I'm sure many of you have not thought of yet, or the reason why. So a lot of people over the past 5 years have come to me and they have been talking to me about having increased libido, just the energy coming up through their root chakra is out of this world. And when we have these ascension waves come in and they're really intense, each of our chakras are being opened and expanded. You might notice symptoms like a lot of pressure through the head, a lot of overthinking, overanalyzing. You can't sleep at night. You're super alert. Heart palps, anxiety through the chest as the energy is coming through your chest. There's just like a series of different ascension symptoms that we're having. And then when we go to the solar chakra with your stomach, you can get queasy, nauseous, just adding to the overall anxiety type sensation. So today we're going to talk about when we get this energy surging through the body through your root chakra. And I'm not talking about Kundalini awakening. This is not what we're discussing today. So if that's on your mind, we can just shift that off to the side, because what we're talking about is energy coming up through the root chakra, which is right in between your legs, coming straight up. And when this is happening, many people are coming to me and telling me that they are experiencing like really uptick, increase of sexual energy and libido. Like it is on. And it's a surge, like it just comes on. Usually it's coming on in the middle of the night. So at nighttime is when the energy likes to pick up. So right now, I'm going to tell you my experience briefly before we continue. With ascension and ascension symptoms, I was getting, it coming in every, I think it was once a month for a few days. And I was like, okay, no biggie. My chakra centers felt like about this big, not very big to me. The energy was coming through my chakra centers. I was like, okay. Sometimes I would notice it during the day. Most of the time I'm noticing it at night. Late afternoon into the evening is when it picks up and it starts to increase. And why is it that it comes in at nighttime? Because we're nice and relaxed, right? And then we go to sleep and it's prime time to get us while we're relaxed and sleeping. And so over the years, the past 5 years, now when it comes in, pretty much I would say all of last year when it would come in for about 7 to 12 days for me, and opening and expanding my chakra centers, expanding, primarily my crown, my heart, and my solar chakra. All of the chakras are having energy funneled through them, but it's those three for me that seem to be the main ones that are being targeted. And as of this year, now I know we're only a few days in, but I would say December on, it's like it's just gone up and we're staying here. The conversations I'm having with source frequency is this is the new frequency on Earth now. And we're not going back to the way it was. This is the new shift up. And sorry, my throat, every time I go live, I don't know why. So here we have a lot of energy that's just funneling through my body. I get a bit of a break during the day, but it's on pretty much late afternoon until about 5 a.m. So about 12 hours a day, it's just straight. Now, my chakra centers, like I said, were funneling energy about maybe a bit like this. Now, my heart chakra feels like it's funneling in like this. I have to wear a mouth guard at night because I clench so intensely, because the body doesn't understand what's happening. So it kind of goes into a fight or flight mode. And the fight or flight mode is heart palps, anxiety, clenching, intense dreams, vivid dreams all over the place. So this isn't really the time to analyze our dreams. I wouldn't, because the body's trying to figure out what's going on because it's not entirely sure. And as we get more energy and more surges, the body's getting hit by more and more energy. It's not sure, it's going into a fight or flight mode, right? Fight or flight mode. Tensing up, heart palps, anxiety, clenching. So what happens is, with my mouth guard, I can actually sleep to a certain point, but I still will wake up after about 2 to 4 hours. My heart chakra is taking in, my chest is taking in this amount of energy. And it's like, and my heart's pounding like a rabbit. And I'm just like, oh my God. But I know what's going on. I'm taking in more racing thoughts. Yep. Now my solar chakra is probably taking in almost as much as my heart chakra. And the other thing I'm noticing is there's a stream of energy that's really connecting the chakras now, and it's free flowing. So not only do I have the energy coming in through the chakra center, but now it's connecting from my solar chakra straight up to my heart chakra, and even straight up to my throat chakra. So I've got a lot of energy coming in through the body. So I'm just going to briefly channel my guardian angel as to, yeah, good times, hey? A lot of pulsing and pulsating through your root chakra too. And we're going to talk about that. And I'm just going to talk with my guardian angel about what we can anticipate with this upcoming year and how things are going to be moving forward with this increase of energy. She's talking about each of us are going to take varying degrees of energy depending on what we're ready for. Some of us are ready to intake more energy or a higher more energy and a higher frequency. Okay, so you're ready to take it in. Even the bare minimum, she says, many on earth are going to have a hard time with that, a bumpy time. It's going to make you feel anxious, squirmy. There's going to be, you may feel uncomfortable. Your body may be overheating. You may have some aches and pains in certain parts of your body, skin rashes. And, but she's talking about depending on how we shift and change our own frequency over time is dependent on how this ascension journey will be for us. So some of us might be like heavier in frequency and bucking the current, so it might be a little bit tougher for us as we intake more energy into the future. Whereas some of us have recognized what's going on and we're going with the flow more. We're going out and grounding our energy. We're letting go. We know what's taking place. She's also saying that what I do is I negotiate with them. And I tell them, listen, I haven't had much sleep the last few nights because you've been pummeling me. I need you to tone it down. And then I'll get a break, usually. Okay? So you can talk with source frequency and ask for what you want, which is really important. Don't just sit there and take it and just be like, well, I can't sleep. I'm totally got major anxiety. My mind's all over the place. Okay? All right. So I want to talk a little bit about the root chakra and increased in sexual libido. I'm not expecting everyone to jump on board and chat this up. You can ask questions if you like about this topic, because that's what I'm sticking to today. But basically, we have a larger amount of energy streaming through our chakra centers, including our root chakra. And the root chakra coming up between your legs upticks our sexual libido. Do you want to weigh in on that? She says she says that energy is always flowing through your vessels, and we don't realize how this energy flowing through our vessels plays a role in our libido. We call it human nature or sex drive, but energy flowing through your vessel plays a huge role, huge part. So do hormones. Also, she's talking about the way things smell. So you might smell another person and it kicks off, an increase in interest as well. Okay, so she's just using some different things for us to think about. All right, but we're going to narrow down on the energy. Your soul's free energy is constantly flowing through your vessel, as well as the frequency of source, or if you want to call it light and love, God, universal oneness, whatever you want to call it, it's everywhere. As soon as you're breathing in air, you're breathing in source frequency, okay? So when you need assistance with certain thoughts, emotions that you may not be expressing, or certain thoughts or emotions that are backing up in your system or weighing you down, lowering your frequency, that's where we come in, because we can step forward and help to transmute that denser frequency through your vessels, through your chakra centers. In the future, your chakras will expand significantly and you will intake more energy. Oh, great. She says she wants me to talk about a conversation I've had with Jesus, because I said to him, what's it going to be like, at the later part of my life here on earth? I mean, am I even going to be able to sleep at all? Am I even going to be able to eat food? Because your diet changes. It has to. You won't be able to eat the same foods you once did. The heavier, greasier, lower vibrational type foods, good luck. You better enjoy them now while you can, because it won't last. I guarantee it. When your body and the earth go, your energy's going, the food must change to match your new frequency. So the conversation I had with Jesus was, there will be less sleep needed, right? Energy doesn't sleep. And the foods that we'll be reaching for are much more high vibrational, and we might choose to move in the direction of more, I'm seeing like liquid foods, or, protein shakes, those types of foods. It'll just be easier on us when we're intaking more light frequency. Got it. If we go ahead and we continue eating the foods that drop our frequency and using the substances that drop our frequency, it'll be a bumpier path for us. You'll also slow down your ascension process, because they won't be able to you won't be able to intake as much light frequency. It'll be bumpier. You still will, everyone will, but it won't be as much as somebody that's smoothing out or paving the way with their diet and transitioning more smoothly, she's talking about. Okay, so you may notice you wake up in the middle of the night and you have like increased sexual libido. It might be like you go from 1 to 100 in a heartbeat, okay? And you will notice signs of your other chakra centers also being really open, and you'll notice a huge surge of energy coming in at the same time. So You'll probably notice the root chakra going, the heart chakra going, the solar chakra, the crown chakra, bare minimum. And, you know, if you have an increase in libido, what does one do about it? She says, enjoy yourselves. Oh, I love it. So her recommendation is for us to enjoy ourselves. And how do we like simmer it down a little bit if we need to? For those of us that want to. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe you don't even want to. She's talking about going outside and grounding yourself, also known as earthing. Okay? So you can sit at the base of a tree, lean your back on the tree, stand next to the tree, put your back on the tree. For those of you that are more in high-rise buildings, you can lay on the floor and make the intention that you wish to connect with the earth. And you can also ask the earth to pull the energy through you on a continuous basis through your root chakra and your feet, anchoring you more. And she will do that for the rest of your life. And if you want it for every single life, you can do that too. So now you're continuously grounded through this lifetime and all lifetimes because you've made that request. Okay? So that's definitely one thing that really helped me with ascension symptoms, is asking her to pull the energy through. Ascension symptoms really can kick off when you have a buildup of energy through your vessel, because it can't pass through your body quick enough or fast enough. Maybe there's just more roadblocks of dense frequency that it's clearing. But if you ask the earth to pull it through your vessel, through your root chakra and your feet, she steps in and really starts to get it flowing and transmutes and helps you a huge amount. Huge amount. What do you think about a grounding mat? She says it is a possibility, but she still would recommend that we get outdoors. That's the best way, is going straight onto the earth herself. And it's free. And it's right there outside your doorstep. Okay? If you need to use a grounding mat, you can. It will ground you. But, and she also recognizes that some people have a lot of snow on the ground and maybe they can't. But I want to say, go outside anyways. Bundle up. Lean on a tree. Do it for 2 minutes. Like, seriously. But again, call on the earth to pull your energy through your vessel, through your feet and your root chakra for the rest of this lifetime and all of your lifetimes. And quite frankly, I have never met someone that is not a starseed, which means that your soul has had lifetimes through other vessels on other planets. And some of these planets are vastly different than Earth. And it's very difficult to ground your energy into your body. You might be experiencing more anxiety as a whole, just being here in this meat suit as a human. So grounding for you is going to be extra important every day. Extra, extra. If you're ungrounded, if you have anxiety, if you're very empathic and you're picking up on other people's energy really easily, these are key indicators that grounding for you every single day, if not multiple times a day, is imperative. And if I were you, I wouldn't touch ungrounding foods. So sugar, caffeine, okay? No. Oh, now we're going to add fuel to the fire. Now I'm extra ungrounded. Look at this. Now I'm running around circles and chasing my own tail. Yeah. Like Ariel's saying here that rubbing salt, sea salt on her body, like a scrub in the shower, or putting salt baths, great way to do it. Himalayan salt lamps. Oh, it's very grounding. But you want to piecemeal all of this and do it all day, every day. And you want to get real good at doing this and doing multiple techniques, because this energy is just going to pick up and get more intensive as we move forward. So you're going to need to pull all of your grounding techniques out of the bag for reals. The gut feeling I have, which I haven't asked my guardian angel yet, but the gut feeling I have is that we are going to intake this energy full throttle primarily through the evenings when we're more rested and relaxed. But in the future, it's going to be 24 hours a day. So it's not just going to be the 12 hours through the night and we get a break during the day. They'll give it to us incrementally, and then a little bit longer, and a little bit longer. Okay, she's doing good. Now we're going to give her more energy. And now it's going to go a little bit longer, and we're going to uptick to the next frequency, even higher. Now she's ready for more. Now her chakras are expanding, and she's taking in more. And now we can funnel in more. Her chakra centers are now expanded, and she can take in more frequency. So what's the next step, Ariel? She says this is correct. So during the daytime, we will get it as much as we get it at night. But she wants us to know that we she says we will adjust to this. She says we'll have to. We will have to. So you're not going to want the heavier foods and the drugs that disassociate you from your reality. You're going to have a real tough time. I remember at the very end of drinking alcohol, I felt like my energy was leaving my body. So my own energy didn't want to be in the body while I partaked in drinking. It saw it as a lower frequency and didn't want to even be in the body. So I felt a real disconnect kind of feeling. And the other thing that was started happening is I wasn't getting as high. I couldn't get as drunk. Okay. And you might notice that now. So you can't get as high as you once did. Yeah. You will want to cut out certain things. It's not like I'm telling you or lecturing you or telling you what to do. You do what you want to do. You do you. Allow others to do as they wish. That's the number one thing I hear from the angels, and I completely agree with them. You will start to want to move in that direction because it's going to make life a lot smoother, a lot easier. It won't be nearly as bumpy for you. Yep, so dizzy spells. And do you have a lot of pressure on the top of your head or a lot of warmth or tingling? That's a good question. I'll get dizzy spells when I have a huge amount of angelic frequency that wants to get my attention and me to communicate for someone. I'll also get extremely lightheaded and dizzy if, say, Jesus comes in the room and he wants to get my attention and he wants me to channel a message for someone. So yeah. They're always here, okay? And say you don't feel them. I don't feel nothing. You can sit with a still mind and just feel where the energy feels different in the room up against your face. So you'll know exactly where they are, because there'll be pressure and warmth with a quiet mind. The mind must be still. Do it for 30 seconds if you can, to a minute. And so you're tuning out like you did in high school, and you can feel where they are in the room. But when they really want to get your attention, what they do is they open and expand their energy. Now they're taking up more of the room with their frequency. And their frequency is so high vibrational, it would blow your socks right off your body. It's the type of frequency that isn't even what I experience here on Earth. It's very high vibrational. And it can make you lightheaded, nauseous. Your chest can feel like it's getting just pierced with a frequency. That's probably because they are clearing out the chest and opening the heart chakra, and they're even working on clearing your energy while they're talking to you. So many times that's happening when I'm channeling for someone during a reading. I'm like, yeah, they're cleansing me right now too. I'm like, okay, I'm, yeah. Oh, absolutely, Ariel. Do you know Ashley, when she was pregnant, she had such an increase in frequency because you have more energy and you have that child's soul there, but also their entire team as well. And a lot more light frequency permeating your vessel. It's the coolest thing ever, isn't it? I get it from the Greys' perspective. The Greys think it's really fascinating how we can birth light frequency through our vessels into this reality, and it is fascinating. Well, one reason is because there are a lot of ET origins, it's endless, okay? But many of them don't birth light frequency through their bodies like we do, or at all. So it is fascinating. It's absolutely amazing. And you're seeing flashes of light too. Super cool. So you know what I see that as is a double confirmation. Not only are you getting dizzy and lightheaded, but you're seeing flashes of light at the same time. So you're most definitely having energy interact with you. Yeah, you've been drawn to plant-based foods recently? Yeah, big time. And you just feel better. You feel lighter. You're not as nauseous. You don't feel as heavy. You just feel a lot better, okay? Mm-hmm. Oh, isn't that cool? So cool. Okay, so are there any last words that we want to talk about in regards to the root chakra? Expect and anticipate more light frequency to enter and permeate your vessels in the near future through each of your chakra centers. But predominantly your crown chakra, your heart chakra, and your solar chakra. Although at times many of you are experiencing an increase through your other chakra centers, including your root chakra. And that will be from time to time. Perpetuating for some of you. You're really cracking me up today. So your libido's already high, now it's perpetuating and even higher for some of you. And for others, it is just, you have your baseline here and now it's here, okay? So now it's going to be just an increase for you. You're so funny today. What is going on? Cracking me up. I'll tell you, like, everyone on the other side is so excited for what's coming. It's just, but I'm really complaining at the same time. I'm like, I know you're excited, but I'm really not sleeping. I had heart palps all night last night. My chest was this open as I was funneling in this amount of energy, and it didn't stop all night. And I had my mouth guard in, and I'm like, I really want to sleep, but I couldn't. I was like, the mouth guard is not helping me. Oh, cool. It's probably Big Mike, Ariel. Probably Big Mike. Claudia, what kind of color of sparks are you experiencing? Is it white, cream, blue, purple? Those are the ones that I've seen predominantly in my life. Sometimes yellow. I've even seen right in front of me and my friend like this squiggly, thick, white energy that came down. Like it looked three-dimensional, like you could just touch it and hold on to it, like a wisp. It wasn't smoke. It was much thicker and denser than that. And I looked at her, and I'm like, did you just see that? And she's like, yeah, did you just see that? I'm like, yeah. That was many years ago. So there's all different, colors. That was the only time that I saw it like that. But I've seen Archangel Gabriel come in the room, show up on my right, huge ball of flash of white light on occasion. Last night, I was walking down the street, going for a walk in the rain, and I knew someone was waiting for me on the sidewalk, and I was like, told my friend, I'm like, someone's on the sidewalk. And they were doing this to me. Come on over. And I'm like, I don't know, who are you? You know, not that I'm scared. I'm never scared. Whomever shows up around me better be ready and better have a good reason to be there and better be allowed to be there through my bouncer mic. So other than that, she felt so high vibrational. And this lady, this soul, told me that she's been here on the earth for so long. I said, are you earthbound or are you visiting? She said, oh, I'm earthbound. But I choose to be here because I'm helping raise the frequency here on earth with my light. And at first I said, well, who are you? And she goes, I'm a light being like you. It's just that she's not in a body. And she asked me to step forward and relay the guidance from the other side in the future to help the masses, because we're really going to need it. So in the future, really manage your frequency and focus on the lighter aspects of your reality the best that you can. Okay? So she said it's going to be really important that I hold steady and don't sweat the small stuff, and usher in the light and channel the light. And what's going to happen is going to be really important, because many are going to tank in frequency in the future. So it's really important that we hold steady as much as we possibly can. Cool. Yeah, it is about strapping yourself in, Ariel. Big time. Big time. Speaking of which, Ariel is also ushering in the light, just in a different way. Right, Ariel? Heart palps all night. I was getting tired of it. Oh, that's really cool. I remember there was a stage where I was funneling a lot of light frequency for a few days. And this lady I was with, she's like, look at your eyes. And we both looked in the mirror at my eyes, and it was just this light was just coming out of my eyes. It was incredible, like bright white. Not sparks, but just a steady stream. And you could really see it. It was incredible. I was also greeted by this lady's daughter in her home as well one day. I was trying to ignore, because I was like randomly bring up, hey, your daughter's here. But that's basically what happened, because she pestered me long enough in the kitchen, and she wanted that conversation so bad with her daughter. So you don't realize, you don't understand like how important it is to channel for people and for yourself. So important. And it's not only that, it's also our own frequency. It's not even the frequency that's coming in, it's what is your frequency. A lot of people are ungrounded, they're overthinking, overanalyzing, their minds are all over the place. And that'll be the first step, is how to quiet the mind, because within a quiet mind is when you can receive the messages. But it's no good how high vibrational or what the frequency is coming in if your frequency is not at least a little bit higher and your mind quiet. Yep, me too, Deborah. Me too. I may have got like a rough 4 hours of sleep last night. There was a lot of energy coming in. Any last words? Do we want to talk about what's going to happen through January? The rest of January? More frequency coming in. She's talking about light codes permeating our vessels, helping to usher in more energy, higher frequency. So the light codes will come in and get the body ready for ushering in more of a higher vibrational frequency. This is correct. Thumbs up. And what's going to happen through February? The beginning of February is going to be a bit of a rest. I don't know what that is, Agnes. I don't know what rest means. So just the beginning. It's going to be more rest through February, and then slowly, gradually picking up, but it's going to be very gradual. And then the energy is going to be much more high vibrational come March. We may feel like more of a sense of normalcy on the planet. We're never going back, okay? Don't even think for a second that this is all going to flip and we're going to go back to the way it was, because that's not going to happen. And as far as things simmering down virus-wise on the globe, I get none of that happening. So we need to manage our frequency, and we got to figure out ways to cope with what's going to happen. Do you understand? And we coming together in this group, and many of the spiritual groups online and together online period, is imperative. Imperative. So coming into March is going to be, it'll be a feeling of, she says it'll feel like a breath or a sigh of relief energetically on the globe. Because right now we're purging. So they're purging the dense frequency, which we can feel. It's a bit heavy. It's not even about what's going on Earth. It's just the energy collectively is like, okay, so we take good care of ourselves right now. Come March, and she's talking about the middle of March, it's going to be, like the sun's come out. We're going to feel a lot better. And that will continue on for several months to come after March 15th-ish. She says we're going to need it. We're going to need it by that point. No kidding. No kidding. Okay, so we think, okay, about roughly 2 months to go, we can do it. The purging is equally as important. Mm-hmm. How do we help with repressed energy through the body? By letting it go. Let it go. Make the intention. Say what you want. Release it. It will start with your words, your free will consent, and request to have it cleared and to let it go. That's the first thing. Second thing, she's talking about grounding your energy often, especially if we feel spacey, lightheaded at times. There's not a whole lot of overthinking with you, but there is some. But not as much as usually what the angels will tell me. Go within. Let go. She says it's interesting because some of us, we request to let things go, and yet we perpetuate the thoughts and the patterns of behavior that accumulated it in the first place. So it's really important that we voice ourselves and always speak up and say how we feel. Kindly, respectfully. Okay? So we're not rage against the machine and yelling at people. Now, you can red room. So you just go, I'm red rooming, angels, and you can picture your whole room goes red, and now you start to vent and let it out. You can scream, you can yell. I'm not super big on that right out the gate. I kind of have to work myself up to it, warm myself up to it. Other people are like, I get to yell and scream? Fantastic. You can punch a pillow, you can pace and up and down in the room. And you're really complaining about everything to the angels. Everything. Unload everything. Now the red room signifies to them that you're doing this so they transmute all of it that comes up and out of your mouth and out of you vibrationally. So now you're letting it all out. And maybe by the next day you're like, I'm still thinking about several other things, so I'm going to red room again. And you do it as many times as you want. And then they transmute it into the light. And so what happens is it gets up and out of you, and then you won't feel the need to perpetuate the same patterns or the same thoughts because it's been transmuted. You're doing it on a large scale when you red room. And I highly recommend it. If you want to go into a mansion and you have several red rooms and you have several people in mind or several different situations, and you can red room all of them at the same time if you want to. The key is to not hold back. All right. She says, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. As Agnes says, go on and enjoy yourself with increased libido. Bye.